YouTube, it's Mio, and today I'm going to show you how to make this layered red velvet cake using an Easy Bake Oven. I've always loved Easy Bake Ovens, and I just wanted to do something a little bit different and see if I could use the ingredients that they had to create this really miniature, realistic looking cake. In most Easy Bake Oven kits, they show you how to make these really cute cookies and cupcakes that are miniature versions for kids, but I wanted to see if I could make like a real cake, just a miniature version of it. So I decided to make this layered red velvet cake, and it actually turned out really pretty, and it tastes just like a red velvet cake. So today I'm going to show you how you can recreate this. If you enjoy videos like these, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and do check out my other social media websites such as Instagram and Twitter to get previews of more videos. So let's go ahead and let me show you how you can create this at home using your own Easy Bake Oven. So to show you how to make this cake, I'm using an Easy Bake Oven. I bought this at Toys R Us for $29.99. It actually retails for about $49.99, so if you're able to find it on sale and get it at a deal, that's great, but if not, that's how much it usually retails for. And I bought these two cake mixes also from Toys R Us. They're about $6 to $7 a piece, so kind of pricey, but you can just pick the one that has the cake mix. You don't have to necessarily find the exact one that has a cake mix. So I got the red velvet cupcake ones, and this is the red velvet and strawberry cake mix to make the miniature cake. And I think what you really need is to make sure you have a pan. So this is the Easy Bake Oven pan, and it's really thin, and you want this small little pan to make the really thin layers in your cake. For this tutorial in particular, I'm using this Easy Bake Oven mix. It's the red velvet cupcakes, and I'm going to follow its directions to create my layers. If you're using a different mix, follow those directions. And of course, you're going to need an Easy Bake Oven. I went ahead and preheat mine for about 15 to 20 minutes before I started using it. So I'm going to start off with my red velvet cake mix, and I'm going to pour this into a bowl. I'm using a smaller bowl here because they're very small miniature desserts, and it just makes more sense for me to use a smaller bowl. And I'm going to take a tablespoon of water like instructed and pour this into my mix and stir until the batter is nice and even. Make sure you're really getting all the clumps out, and this takes about, I would say, 5 minutes of manually mixing it before you get a nice smooth batter like so. Once you're happy with your batter mix, you're going to take your metal pan. I placed mine on a plate, and I'm going to spray it down with some nonstick oil, or you can grease this with some butter, whatever you have at home, before putting the batter into your metal plate. You'll notice that the batter doesn't fill the entire pan in general, so I'm going to use my spoon and spread out all of the batter nice and evenly, and it's going to make a very thin layer of batter like so, and that's just perfect. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my Easy Bake Oven. In this oven in particular, you actually get this blue spatula so that you can move your pan through the Easy Bake Oven, and that is to protect you so you don't burn your hands. So I'm just going to follow the directions in the booklet and just move them through the chambers like you're supposed to. So I placed mine in the cooking chamber to cook for a particular amount of time for this batter, and then I let it cool. And once you have your batter nice and cooked, and you have a nice layered cake, I'm going to cut small little circles using a cookie cutter in this shape, and I'm going to cut out my layers. Now, in this batter in particular, I can only make 2 circles, so I did this again and I made a total of 4, and these are going to be the 4 layers of my cake. I'm using a cupcake stand here to help me, and that's how small your cake will be. It will be the size of a cupcake, and I'm using some cream cheese frosting. I'm actually just using some store-bought frosting because I didn't want to use the one in the box. I just don't think it will taste the same. I really wanted a cream cheese frosting, and I think it'll just have a different consistency. And I went ahead and put some frosting between all of my layers. So I just turned my little cupcake stand, manually spread the frosting generously onto each layer, and then after I did that, I started to do the same thing for the second, third, and fourth layer. My cake in particular only has 4 layers. If you want your cake to have more layers, you can. Once you placed all of the layers on top of your cake, you'll notice that it actually looks like a very real cake, because it really is. It's just a tiny miniature version of a real layered red velvet cake. If you like the ones now, you can stop, or if you want to continue, you can cover the whole cake with more frosting. So that's what I decided to do. I'm going to cover my entire cake with cream cheese frosting. To put frosting on the sides of the cake, I took a generous amount of frosting in a spoon and I placed it generously on the side, and using a butter knife, I'm just going to spin the cake stand and just let it smooth out and even out all the frosting along the sides of the cake. Finishing touch, I took 2 pieces of leftover red velvet cake and I kind of pushed the 2 against each other, and it would help form little crumbs to decorate the very top of the cake so you can label it as a red velvet cake. And if you like walnuts, you can crush a few walnuts and place that on the top too. And that is pretty much how I made this miniature layered red velvet cake. It looks just like a real cake and I really loved how it turned out, and it's actually really easy to make with an Easy Bake Oven. And of course, my favorite part of the tutorial is finally getting to cut the cake. And when you take your slice of cake, you get to see all of the layers of the cake and see that it's the real deal. And of course, Easy Bake Oven does a really good job of making the cakes really taste like cakes. So this tasted just like red velvet cake. It's definitely not a gourmet red velvet cake. The batter itself is not very spongy and moist, but it does taste like red velvet cake, and I love how it turned out. I really hope you guys enjoy this tutorial and enjoy making this at home. For more videos like these, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and do join my notification squad if you want to be alert for my new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys soon.